Okay guys, welcome back to the Crypto Plebs channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to use Phemex. This is the trading site that I use. We're going to go ahead and start building up our trading team. And I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to unload crypto here. It's very simple, very easy. So I know a lot of people that are typically used to Coinbase and Crypto.com and a lot of these other exchanges. These are going to be not regulated here in the US, so you're gonna have to use a VPN. I use NordVPN. You can use Express or whatever VPN carrier that you like of your choosing. But I just want to help you guys get started on how to use this. So I'm not going to be using my personal Coinbase account because I have a large amount of money in there, and then plus I don't want to dox all that stuff on here. So the same rules will apply, from transferring from Coinbase to Crypto.com. I'm going to use a hot wallet. So I have another sub account here on my Phemex account. So I just wanted to show you guys how to do the very easy steps, processes on how to get your account loaded up. So the first things first, you're going to use the link that is posted below in the chat. It's going to give you access to be able to join Phemex. You'll need to set your VPN settings to maybe the Netherlands, or you could even do Mexico if you like. And then when you have the link code, it'll give you access to the whitelist. Whitelist is basically like a VIP, very important person. Without that, you won't be able to trade with Phemex. So just make sure that you guys are using the link code with that. All right, so next things, we need to deposit money. So you're going to go into the deposit side, deposit crypto, hit that. You can use USDT, Bitcoin, Tron, ETH, USDC. I always tell everybody it's great to use Solana. It's fast, cheap. So you just go in here, click, type in Sol. You can use any crypto, but Solana's the best. Then you're going to go over here and you're going to press copy. So you got to make sure to pay attention. You can move this directly into your futures account or spot. We're going to go ahead and do futures because we're going to be using this to trade. It's going to generate a code here, and all you're going to do is just copy. As you see right here, it says copy. And then next, we are going to send some crypto over here to Phemex. Okay, so I have $17 in Solana. I'm going to click the Solana button. Okay, and then I'm going to press send, paste the address in here, and I always recommend everybody to always send $1, whenever you are getting ready to do this for your first time. You don't want to send, too much cash, because if, you mess up or you make a mistake, you'll end up losing that money. So we're going to send just $3, okay, and then send it over. Okay, then it sends, and then we're just going to wait to confirm it in there. Once it gets in there, you'll get an email and all that kind of stuff like that. So once you set this account up, guys, you have the options again in 2FA. 2FA just gives you that extra blanket of security, so you'll end up getting a code to your email, and then you'll put the email code inside here, and then what you'll do is you'll get another code sent to your Google Authenticator app, which you'll need to copy, paste that, and then put it into here if you want to make withdrawals and stuff like that. It's always safe. Look, guys, stuff happens in, in all the tech world. There's, data breaches and stuff like that happens. So having that 2FA Google Authenticator always gives that extra layer of blanket of security. I have it on, all my devices that I use, but I also use different accounts. So like with my YouTube and all that stuff like that, I run these off of different accounts. I don't ever have anything that's tied into my actual trading account. I don't ever leak that information out. I keep it off the internet, so it keeps you safe. And then also too, guys, just an FYI, if you're using Coinbase, you should not be using a VPN because these guys will ban you. So I like to always recommend, having a separate device like a laptop or anything like that, or a phone that you don't use, and kind of keep it separated. I know it's a little bit more of a hassle for some people. It may not be ideal, but just in my opinion, it keeps you safe, and then also at the same time, it just keeps you know, both counts separated from each other. So that's just my personal opinion. Okay. All right, so once we get the account loaded up, we have a lot of different things that are on Phemex. You know, so Phemex has, you know, the market perpetuals, and then you have copy trading, and then trading bots, and then the mock trading. It's like I always tell everybody, I always recommend everybody to do the mock trading first. Maybe complete 3 to 4 mock trades, and once you have maybe 3 out of the 4 trades successful, then you probably are ready to get into trading. And one of the greatest things about Phemex, guys, it's not all about trading. You have different things, like you have launch pads, trading bots, you have margin trading, and then spot trading. Spot trading is going to be a really good one, guys. You know, what I usually do is I go after tokens that I typically cannot find on Coinbase and crypto.com, like Camino Finance. You guys know that I've been really bullish on that. And then other tokens like even Miggles. Miggles is really great. You know, this is another coin that you can't get on Coinbase just yet. So, you know, if you want to get access to this coin, it's available here. And pretty much the same things that apply. You know, you have your limit, market, conditional, basket order. Basically, I just use these two, man. I don't really pay attention to this other stuff. You know, I'll usually put a limit order in here. And you have the option of doing, you know, 1 to 3%, or you can do a custom amount here. So we'll just go ahead and put 1%, and have about $70 left in dry powder. Let's see, let's just do what, $10. And in Miggles, if we go down 1%, you know, we'll buy $10 worth of Miggles. And then another coin that I like is Cetus Protocol. That's another one that I've talked to you guys about. And we just buy these little dips, man. Every time, you know, the market dips down like this, we just DCA. You know, I have, let's see, let's put in, we'll just do a market buy on this. Let's see. Do $10 in US, $9 in USDT. Buy a little bit of Cetus here, and then we'll look at Camino Finance. KM and O. It's always good to know the tickers on here. Okay, so we're down pretty good on this one, and we're gonna go ahead and DCA $10 in this Camino Finance. Okay, you notice how I'm just not like using all my money in, and I have a lot more money than this guy's, but like I said, I just usually buy these with my trading fees that I get, you know, that I accumulate through the day. Usually I'll just come in and buy some tokens that I like, and I'll just add these to my bags. And you guys can do this too. Like if you guys are getting any type of extra funds, you guys work in wait staff, or you get tips or whatever, extra money from paycheck, just put a little bit of money here and there. You know, it's a great way to you know, DCA. And you know, like I said, that's what I do. Let's see, let's go through some of the other stuff they have here. I know they have this Phemex. Let me see if it's in here. I don't see it. I know they did a lot of moving stuff around. Yeah, I don't see it right now. Let's see. So margin's cool too. Margin, I just don't recommend using that yet, guys, until you get familiar with the system. But let's see. You have the copy trading. We're actually going to start working on getting some good copy traders in here for Plebz. I'm going to try to apply for myself, and then I'll have one of my guys that I have with me apply as a copy trader, so you know we can provide some value to the KGU and Plebz. But let's go ahead and move over to the actual you know, trading side of everything. Okay, so I just put in $600 in here right now, and we're gonna go ahead and look for some trades. Right now the markets were looking like they were doing good this morning. We pulled back a little bit, so I think this is a great time to start looking for some trades. Okay, so right up here we have isolated and cross. Always use isolated. When you use cross, you're basically pulling from other trades that you're in, or you're pulling from you know, your side money, so I don't recommend you guys using that. Use isolated. And then up here you have your margin levels. You have going long and going short. I recommend, guys, you don't ever go anything more than 10x leverage, guys. We want to make sure that we're taking responsible trades, and I actually also recommend you stay under 5x leverage, preferably 2 to 3x if you're barely getting into trading. Very dangerous. Like I said, a lot of other people that trade higher leverage, they probably have a lot more experience, or they're trying just to get, exchange, revenue for themselves, and they really don't care if you guys get liquidated. I care about my group, and I care about the people that I onboard here. It's not all about the money. It's about making sure that we're taking responsible trades and making sure that you guys understand what you're doing. All right, so let's just go with 2x leverage for right now, guys, okay? Going with 2x leverage, and then you have basically your limit and market. Market, I never try to buy through market because depending on the spread, if you're buying between really high market volatility, you'll always get the shit end of the stick, when you buy market. So it's always better to map out future trades, put in a limit order. If I'm ever throwing out any type of levels or anything like that, you can input, hey, Jumpman said AVAX, entry 2310. You can input that there. And then right here is the amount of capital that you have. So you can use 25% of your capital. You can use half, 75, or 100% of it. And just remember, this all affects your liquidation mark. So if you use 100%, you're using all your margin. So you want to make sure that you'd probably possibly put more money in to adjust your margin levels, okay? And then you have your take profit and your stop losses. So you can manually input this here, or you can use the advanced mode. I always like to use the advanced mode, and you can siphon between if you're going long or short. So right now we are looking at Bitcoin. If we decided that we're going to go short on Bitcoin, our liquidation level would be 176,449. If we decided to go long, our short level would be at 60K. So definitely, safe on both sides, and this all really depends on the leverage. But look, check this out. If we decide that we're going to use 10x leverage on both sides, confirm, and then you go down here again, notice how the prices get adjusted. Now it went from 106, and then this changed to 130. So a lot more risk. And then let's even go even further and beyond. Let's go to 20x leverage. Okay. You even get the little warning sign. Okay. Now the liquidation mark even changes even more. Now we have 113 of a liquidation mark going long and 123 going short. So remember, the higher the leverage, the more dangerous the trade is. If you are trading for your first time, I always recommend using Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look, the other altcoins have a lot of volatility on them, and it's a lot more dangerous. Yeah, I'm not saying that, Bitcoin isn't dangerous, but it's less dangerous because of the volatility. It's a lot more stable. So definitely, you want to take that into consideration when you're entering your trade. But like I said, using 4x leverage, 3 or 2, definitely in my opinion is a lot safer. It gives you a lot more wiggle room and a lot more investor friendly for people that are just trying to get into the game. This is going to be where you're going to find out where the mistakes and stuff like that are going to be made. It's really hard for people to learn from mistakes when you're using mock trading, because you're not going to have that same mindset like, oh man, I made a mistake, because it's paper money. It's not real. So you need to have this as, your guide to tell you, hey, look, it kind of locks you in. You're a lot more aware of the trade because you're using real capital, okay? So let's go back here again. We're going to go long on Bitcoin. Right now we're at 118,306. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, hey, look, you know what? We want to go long at Bitcoin. And they do have their own chart here. It's not the greatest in my opinion, but you can use it. and you can basically use the same strategies that I've taught you guys. You know, the order and breaker blocks. You have your candles and all that stuff like that. You can use your indicator. So let's type in RSI. You know, we have 57 RSI, and then we can also use MACD. Notice how it was right here in this area. Okay, so we have negative money flow pointing to the downside. And then we can change up our time frames real quick, 15-minute, 30-minute. So yeah, all the money flow looks like it's kind of going down, but we can't just go off that, guys. You know, we can go off of larger time frames real quick. Let's see, go down to the daily. Yeah, everything looks like momentum's still pointing down, so we don't want to just hop into, you know, a long right now. We want to see if we can try to set ourselves up for a future trade. So let's see where we can catch a bounce at. All right, so there's a lot of buy pressure right here. Remember, we talked about these wicks right here. When there's these long, skinny wicks like that, there's a lot of buy pressure in here. So we're looking on the hourly. Let's cut down to the 30-minute, and let's see if we can try to find a bounce. You know, maybe between 16,961. And I like to use you know, trading view for this because it gives me a lot more stuff to work with. But you know, like I said, this is just like mainly a tutorial. You know, we want to just get you guys at least understanding how to use the platform. It's very easy. So I like this entry here. Let's see. Maybe even 17,763 could be a good one. But let's just let's stick with what we said first. Okay, so we're going to minimize this out right here. I'm going to put a limit order here. Okay, so we're going to type in what we said. Okay. All right. And then we're going to move in here with 50% of our capital, take profit, going long, and then our take profit will be 120,000. And notice how the returns ain't that much because we're not using a lot of leverage, guys. So let's go up maybe to 121. Okay, a little bit more, and we'll do a stop loss between maybe 2%. Let's go 3%. I always recommend no more than 3%, guys. You know, especially if you're just getting into the trading. Okay, hit long. And then it'll pop up over here an active order. So we have an active order. So when Bitcoin drops to this level, the trade will initiate. And then it'll pop up over here. So over here, you'll have, you know, your entry. And then this right here is one that you got to pay attention to because you'll have a price for you where you break even at, and then you can adjust your stop losses and take profits here if you decide you want to, you know, adjust them up. Okay, so that's the trading part of it. You know, you can have the option of a market closing, or you can do limit closing. It's either or. Usually, what I'll do is I'll scale out of a trade depending on, you know, where it's going. You can scale out doing you know, 25, 50, 75% of the trade. Let's go down here to mock trade real quick. I can just actually perform a trade here. That way you guys can see it. Okay, so we have some, we have a trade here that we were already in. I think this was from a while back. All right, so prime example right here. Okay, so we can do a limit close. We can do 25, 50%. Let's do 37.90. We're going to close 25% of the trade, which will net us $11,000. All right, so we'll just do limit. Okay, so we have a limit close at that level. And then we can do another one at, let's see, 3,900. We'll do a limit close of 25%. That will net us 9,000. Okay. So we have all these active orders to close out trades. I had put this one in a while back during, I think, one of our tutorials, and we just kind of let it run. This is a mock trading feature. This isn't real cash, but this was a $33,000 trade. So we would have took that trade back, you know, if you guys, I mean, let's say if this was real cash, the trade would have been up almost, you know, 35,000. So like I said, this is just the power of leverage trading. It's very low leverage as well too, guys. Look, check this out, 3x leverage, and just let the trade sit. You know, I don't think we use a stop loss on this. You know, I always tell everybody to use a stop loss, you know, depending on where the entry is and where you got in at and your risk tolerance. There's definitely, you know, upside potential from not using a stop loss, but we always have to make sure that we guys are practicing those, especially with newer investors, because you don't want to do this at the wrong time, because if you don't use a stop loss, you know, you could potentially get liquidated. So the stop losses work, you know, to keep you from getting your account drained out. So you notice this little if you notice this little red line right here, this is my take profit zone. Okay, so you also have what is known as a stop loss or liquidation mark. So the more leverage you're using, guys, the line of liquidation will either go raised up or down. It goes down when you add more money to the trade, or it goes up if you increase leverage. So just always keep that in mind, okay? So when you use higher leverage, the liquidation mark gets raised up. So we want to make sure that we keep the line furthest down from us as possible, because it keeps us safe. But just remember back, you know, when the FTX collapse happened, you know, a lot of people lost a lot of money because, you know, they were insolvent, but at the same time, like, you know, it was just mass selling pressure. So the more longs that were getting liquidated, it just kept driving the price more down. So, you know, the lower the leverage, that line will get pushed down far for you can keep you safe. So that's the reason why I always recommend using, you know, 2 to 3x leverage. You know, if you're moving in with some size, definitely that will keep you safe. But just remember, it's not you know, foolproof. You know, something happens, you know, a black swan event occurs, or you know, a really mean tweet comes out, definitely can cause some issues. So please keep that in mind. And then, you know, guys, you always have the option of being able to, you know, withdraw your money. That's one thing that's always available here with Phemex. It's just the same process. You can go through the same process, hit withdraw, and you can withdraw your money. So what you'll do is you'll look for whatever asset you have, and you can just say, hey, look, I want to withdraw all my Miggles. And you'll put your address here. Let's go in here real quick. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to receive, and you'll go to base, because remember, Miggles is a base network coin. You'll go here, press copy, click this, paste, and it will generate an address. Then you'll put max right here. I'm withdrawing all my Miggles from here, which is about almost $800. And then you'll press withdraw. Then you'll get an email prompt sent to your email. Once you press accept, then you'll have, I think, 30 seconds to get the code from your Google Authenticator app and input that into the email. Once you do that, then the funds will be released into your wallet, which you have. Just make sure that when you're withdrawing, guys, the coin that you're withdrawing to is compatible with whatever place that you're unloading to. So if I'm trying to send my Miggles to Coinbase, you can't do it because one, Miggles is not on there, and then two, you have to make sure you have the address. So as long as you have the actual address, like make sure it's on base, you'll be able to upload that coin to the specific platform that has the token available. So like, if I'm using a DEX, the token's available there. So all you would do is just go to Miggles, and it's there, you see? So pretty much all your DEXs are gonna have these coins, but you just gotta make sure you send it on the right network, get the right contract address, and then you'll be fine, okay? So yeah, once you get it there, then it's there. And then same thing that goes with Camino Finance. Camino Finance is a Solana token. Same process. Go here and I would say, hey, I'm receiving a Solana based token. Copy the address, input it into there, paste, withdraw the max amount, send. You'll get the confirmation email. You'll click it, do the same process, and that's it. Very easy, guys. I can tell you this, like, I understand people get kind of, timid by doing these things, but, for me, Phemex has always been great. I've never had any problems with them. I really have to recommend this one. It's just they have a lot more crypto that's available there. So if you guys are looking for a crypto exchange that is filled with other different types of coins, from meme coins down to blue chips, Phemex is going to be the one that I'm going to recommend the most, okay? I'll be doing more of these videos in the future. Like I said, I want to make sure that everybody understands, the process of this and how easy it is, and just kind of break that barrier of people trying to figure this out. So I just wanted to make a quick video. Guys, please make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you send me any messages in the comments. If you guys are having trouble, you guys can message me in the Discord, send me your UID, and we'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. So once again, you guys enjoy your day. Remember, trade responsible, use stop losses, and ask questions if you have any problems. With that being said, we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
You could be the winner if you really wanted to, right? But the problem is you keep playing that what if game. What if it don't work? What if I fail? Nah, flip it. What if it does work? And what if you win? Then what? You're gonna be sitting there happy, right? You say you want to win, but then you're scared to lose. What sense does that even make? Look, you can't talk about wanting to win and then be scared of the risk. That's not how this works. If you lock in, keep your head down, and stay focused on the vision, how could you not win? The only thing that's gonna make you lose is your own mindset, and that's all on you. Your biggest enemy ain't out there, it's in your head. So if you wanna win, you gotta get out of your own way. And here's the truth. Every time you doubt yourself, you're slowing down your own progress. You either believe in yourself or you don't. There's no in between. If you keep second guessing everything, you're already losing. But when you stop playing scared and start moving